So a little bit of breaking news that's kind of disrupting my videos I had planned out. Uh, Mike McCarthy is out as a Dallas Cowboys head coach. That opens up another head coaching spot. Wow. I mean, I didn't think that he was gonna return to Dallas. But last week they blocked Mike McCarthy's interview with the Chicago Bears. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm in the wrong. Mike McCarthy's going back to Dallas. But it came out today that they blocked his interview last week just to not give him an offer. So he is officially out as a head coach. Dallas messes up his interview cycle, right? He's now behind the curve on every single interview in the NFL for head coaching job. Um, the Cowboys, I don't know what they're going to do, man. There's a lot of guys out there I think they could go. There's rumors that Jason Witten, the former tight end, could come in and be a head coach. Okay, bro. I think Kellen Moore as well. You know, he was a former offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, left, and he kind of stayed longer than he should have because he was trying to get the head coaching job. He thought Mike McCarthy was going to get fired when Jason Garrett was let go. He was hoping to get it then, but he stayed on to the staff, hoping to stay after for Mike McCarthy. Eventually leaves, ends up in Philadelphia after a year or two of bouncing around. Has a really good year, right? Saquon just set the record, or it goes on pace, sorry, was to setting the record for single rushing yards in a season. Jalen Hurts led the league in quarterback rushing touchdowns. Passing offense was pretty solid. So it's very interesting to see maybe Kellen Moore gets the job, right? Or maybe they go with an established veteran, right, with Ron Rivera, Pete Carroll, or they go with Ben Johnson. They keep Bobby Slowick in state. Like, it's very interesting to see what they're going to do. I wonder what they're going to do. But for Mike McCarthy, I think there's actually a lot of teams that would like a Mike McCarthy, right? Someone who has like a .6 winning percentage, 12 of 18 seasons he made the playoffs in his career. That's impressive. I think there's going to be a lot of owners in the NFL that see that and go, you know what? Let's bring him on, have him help stabilize our team, maybe even get us to the playoffs in the first year. Do I think he's a great coach? Not necessarily. I think there's time management issues. I think there are, some schematic issues. But I mean, he got the most out of Cooper Rush. He got the most out of Andy Dalton, right? Like, he's not a bad coach. I think there's a lot of teams that need a coach right now that Mike McCarthy could definitely sign on to, right? Whether it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, whether it's the Chicago Bears. I wouldn't be shocked if, one of the more rebuilding teams go after him, maybe like the Raiders, right? Get someone who has made the playoffs consistently, has a Super Bowl win, knows how to get the most out of a bad quarterback. Maybe that's the team that he goes to. But honestly, I am very shocked that Mike McCarthy is out. Obviously, the season didn't go the way Dallas wanted it to go, right? They were hoping to, obviously win a Super Bowl this year, and Dak gets hurt, right? Always tough. You don't invest any money in the run game. You don't invest any money in free agency last year. You could have gotten Derrick Henry. You don't do it. You could have gotten some defensive help. You don't do it. You haven't found a competent replacement for Amari Cooper in 3 years now. It's just CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks at age 31, right? It's a very rough core of players that you had. Defensively, they did fall off a little bit, but I mean, Dan Quinn wasn't the defensive coordinator. It was Mike Zimmer instead. So obviously the defense is going to fall off a little bit. Maybe Mike McCarthy goes somewhere as an offensive coordinator. Maybe he takes a year off of coaching like he did when he was fired from Green Bay. He took a year off of coaching and then came back and got the Dallas job. Maybe he does the same thing, right? Maybe he doesn't like the cycle this year. There's not enough teams that, are in playoff contention that he's like, I want to go to that team. Maybe he just takes a year off. Maybe he goes into broadcasting, right? Maybe he retires. I think there is a long future for Mike McCarthy still in the NFL. For the Dallas Cowboys, again, I want them to go after someone who could actually get the most out of the talent on their team, right? They have a top 5 wide receiver, a top 15 quarterback, a top 5 pass rusher, a premier starting corner. Yes, lots of money at bad positions, right? Like at safety, you have a lot of money at safety. You have a lot of money in DeMarcus Lawrence, who is a free agent this year. So I think there's a very high chance that he walks. You have a lot of money at the offensive line. Obviously, Dak, CD, and Trayvon Diggs make up a lot of money. You got to pay Micah Parsons. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Cowboys do, right? I don't think they're going to get a Ben Johnson. I really don't. I don't think that's where Ben Johnson would want to go with Jerry Jones as his GM, because Ben Johnson has already said, or I guess it's well known that Ben Johnson wants to bring a GM from Detroit to help, be the GM, obviously, of whatever team he goes to. So that's why I think it is very hard to talk myself into saying Ben Johnson is going to Dallas. I think Bobby Slowick, again, guy from Texas. I think Kellen Moore is probably the front runner right now. Former Cowboys OC, wanted to stay to be the head coach, but eventually he's like, okay, it's gonna be a couple more years. Let me go get experience outside the building. And again, he didn't do amazing in Los Angeles last year. Was part of the reason Brandon Staley got fired. But I do think in Philadelphia, with those weapons he had, he did a good job. And I do think Dak's best years were with Kellen Moore at offensive coordinator. So maybe he wouldn't be the worst head coach. But again, I think Mike McCarthy, he'll land somewhere, or he'll take a year off of coaching and come back next cycle. And the Cowboys, I think they're going to go with someone who can come in and get the most out of the guys that they do have. I still think Liam Cohn is another option as well. But if you guys enjoy, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, that the Cowboys did let go of Mike McCarthy. Not a super long video, but again, it was enough breaking news. Another name to add to the head coaching cycle. Another spot to add to the head coaching cycle. It's enough to make its own little video about. So if you guys enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.